Hello, today we're taking a look at ACER AI. This is a new AI app that I built for HPC systems. It is currently available on the Lakeshore HPC. If you have an account on this system, you can hop in and start to take a look at this right now. It is very new. There are things that could stand to be worked on. Take a look at it. Let us know your experience. Let us know if there are features you'd like to see added. Let us know what works well for you. Let us know what doesn't work well for you. We'd be happy to hear your feedback. Acer AI runs in two modes. It has a graphical mode, which works in Open On Demand, and a command line version. Let's take a look at the graphical version. We are here in Open On Demand. Here, if we click Acer AI, we can then scroll down. We can choose our partition and account, pick how long we want to run, what CPU, what RAM we want to run. We are going to run on a A100 GPU with 20 gigs of RAM. When we click launch, it will launch our application. Depending on the resources we've asked for, it will configure itself differently. If we run on a small GPU or CPU only, it will pick a small LLM to run. If we run on a larger GPU, it will pick a larger model. And it will configure chunk size and overlap and retriever K and that sort of thing accordingly. Now we are here in the Acer AI chat interface. We can see down here are our current settings. You're welcome to simply start to use the application. If you want to configure it more, you can click this advanced settings option and choose a different LLM. You can adjust your chunk size and overlap and retriever K for your own RAG settings. Getting started, by default, this works as a interface for the Acer HPC knowledge base and can kind of be used as first-tier technical support. So getting started, we can ask a question like, how do I get started? This will look through our knowledge base information and print you up sort of a starter guide. You can ask other questions such as give me an example submit script, ask questions about setting up a Conda environment, submitting different things, how do you access software, anything that is found in our knowledge base can be asked in the default setting for Acer AI. So clicking this, it kind of gives you some information. It shows you how to get started, it teaches you how to log into a node and how to run an interactive job, verify you have an account, and we'll kind of walk you through the different settings of how to get connected and up and running. If we let it continue to print, it would show us, example submit scripts and that sort of thing as well. Building on that, you can ask it questions about your environment. For instance, let's take a look at our current running jobs. We've submitted this job where our Acer AI chat instance is running. We can see it's out here running on node GA001. This is our job ID, this is the partition, and this is my username. We can ask other questions about our account, such as what are my quotas? It'll show you how much storage you have and what the maximum amount of storage you can keep in your home directory and scratch directories and that sort of thing. We can ask about our Chicago Computes credits, and we can see how many credits we have available. We can ask about statistics about our most recent jobs. Oops, I think I this will spit out information about our recent jobs, what resources we've requested, what resources were actually used, so we can see how efficient our work is. Um, we can ask it information such as what partitions can I use? This will show us our Slurm accounts and what partitions they can submit to. We can then use that information and say, give me an dispatch script, which is the TS Acer Chai account and submits to the batch partition. Have it run a for loop 1 to 10 and sleeps, I don't know, 5 seconds just so it doesn't finish before we can see it. Call it loop test. So now, I think that's all we need for a good job. So now over on Lakeshore, this is what's in my home directory currently. This will take the information that we've given it, it will parse it into a submit script template, and it spits it out. We can see that it picked it up. It's going to give a, call it loop test. It's going to run on one node. We could put in, I don't know, we can ask it to set the number of CPUs and memory and that sort of thing. But it's going to run on batch with a TSH or ACER Chai account. So now it shows that it's going to run a for loop and then it's going to sleep for 5 seconds and finish. So now in our home directory, we see that it has output our job script. So we could from here on the terminal just run sbatch and submit the job, or we can just mash this button and it will think for a little bit and submit the job. For now, the submit options in this are fairly basic. I'm working on some other templates um, to have it run more complex jobs such as MPI jobs and GPU jobs and that sort of thing. So now we see that loop test is off here and it's running in the cluster. Back in our home directory, let's see if we have any output. We have our output. It is out here and it's printing. Um, so yeah, that's our job submission through the AI tool. Building on this, if we run this again while I've finished. Anyway, that's going to run until it completes. Some of the other features that can be used is that we can make a directory called docs in our home directory. We can move a file into it. This ACER AI.py script is the actual application that we're running. So now if we come back over here and we change our paths, we're going to give it the directory where our documents live. We can put PDFs and CSV files and text files and that sort of thing in here. And then we give it a vector store path. This is a empty directory, or it will create it for you. And what it will do is read the documents in here. It will chunk them into a vector database, which then you can chat with. So if we click this, it will rebuild our knowledge base, and now we can ask it a question such as, document this code for an end user knowledge base. So this is looking through, it found our submit script, and it is looking through it. It is documenting how it is set up. So here we see that it shows running the program from the command line. And it shows you can run it and ask it a question. So let's do that. If we get out of Open On Demand, let's terminate our current running job. And we switch over to our home directory. One thing to look at before we get started is that in our home directory, if we are going to use our own document folder and our own vector store, we can set the paths to that to our own defaults. So in our home directory, if we open a file called bash profile, it starts with a period. We can set our own environment variables called docs folder and vector store path. So our bash profile, any commands and settings that we put in there are read when we first log into the machine. So now if we start an interactive job on a node, we now see that we are on our GPU node GA001. To use the ACER AI program from the command line, we simply run module load ACER AI. This will start up Olama server in the background and load our Python environment, which is needed to work with ACER AI. So from here, we can run ACER AI-R. This will rebuild our knowledge base. So anytime you drop a file into your document folder, we run this and we'll pick it up. Then we can ask a question. And we're just asking hello. Another option that you can run from the command line is this -M option to switch the model. So if we run this, it will respond. It will probably have a little bit of a different response because we've loaded a different model. From the command line, I found this very helpful as a systems administrator. I have notes from all sorts of different things I set up that I'm constantly having to, run find and grep over to find information. It's handy to have that all available from the command line, so I don't need to look up the syntax for a particular command or just ask it for, a simple for loop to roll over, to loop over files and that sort of thing. So it's been really, really handy for that. So get in, start to play around with it. Let us know what you think, and we'd be happy to help you out with it. Thank you.